Hi, I'm Guy,
Hi, I'm Troy.
Hi, I'm Alex.
and this is Geek Tank.
We're here size podcast.
Suddenly, it's us.
Suddenly it's Seymour. Wait, that's not it.
Suddenly, Seymour.
Is my audio set to the right audio?
My volume is set to the right audio.
It is, okay. I'm on the good microphone, not the bad microphone. Bad
I'm
microphone.
on the good mic.
So, got a espresso machine a few weeks back as our anniversary gift to
Yes.
ourselves.
To me, apparently, because I got some
to you-
espresso.
Yeah, it's the anniversary gift that everybody gets to enjoy.
It's the
And
anniversary keeps on giving.
next time you're over, Alex, and you have and you're on your cycle to have coffee, I can make espresso.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah, actually, I have coffee probably about once a week these days, and it doesn't hurt me, and I'm not fiending for it. So yeah, no, it's good.
Hey, Bob. So that's good because before it was like you had to limit
Yeah.
to once a month, I think it was, right?
Like
Or
once a quarter.
once
That's what
a
I was
quarter.
doing. Yeah, because I wound up I wound up having coffee every once in a while, but it hurt me. And when Twin Peaks season 3 came out, I decided to have coffee and cherry pie to
Mhm.
kick off my reviewing of the original 2 seasons, the pilot in the original 2 seasons. And it's like, and I timed it so I could like watch an episode every couple of days. And then when I was done and then watching the movie, I could then go roll into the initial broadcast of the first part or the first episode, or actually 2 episodes of season 3. And to kick that off, I had more coffee and cherry pie, and I was like, oh God, I can feel it clawing up my back again. So
Hello, Brent.
Hey,
but
Brant.
no, ever since then, like I decided to coffee stopped hurting me fairly recently. I don't know, several months ago.
Do you think it was just building up a tolerance, maybe? Or
I don't know, but so then I did coffee like every quarter. It's like 2 months for Twin Peaks, and then so it was like every quarter, and that was fine. And then I started taking the kiddo out to coffee, and I was like, oh, I'll have a hot chocolate with a shot of espresso in it or something. And then and it didn't hurt. I'm like, well, I'm doing this every week or two. Let's see what happens. And so far, so good.
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm experimenting because with the milk steamer, you can also it makes really nice. Make the steamed milk and then mix it with chai.
Mm-hmm.
So.
We have Brent. Hello, Brent.
Yep. And that was actually really good. I was falling asleep during the last time I was over there. And I had some of his espresso, and I was like, I'm awake now.
Sweet. Well, as Wednesday Adams says, drip is for people who hate themselves.
Yep. Yeah, 2 cups of creamer with my coffee. Yeah,
I'm the same way with pumpkin pie. I have to have a little pumpkin pie with my whipped cream.
Yeah, I used to be pretty. I don't know. I would take coffee any way I could get it. Black as a moonlit night, or with milk or cream or whatever. And like nowadays, I don't need to prove anything anymore. I'm usually like when I take the kid out to coffee, it's like they'll get like an Italian soda or a hot chocolate. I'll get like a hot chocolate and oat milk and a shot of espresso in it.
Nice.
Yeah,
it's interesting you say that, because actually I thought about. I think that's interesting. I didn't think I liked coffee, so I got into coffee late in life. I thought I didn't like coffee, and it turns out that I do not like hot. And so, but I actually really like coffee. I just like it on ice. I don't like hot things. But I didn't know that. I made the wrong assumption that, I disliked coffee because I disliked the heat. And so when I finally came around to it and drank coffee later on, I was like, I'll drink this any way I can get to it. It's like, it's all good. But it never occurred to me about the, you don't want to drink it with, frou-frou-y milk and whatever in it, because that's like not manly or whatever. But I remember that being a thing when I was younger. Like that was, you had, you couldn't drink your milk with milk or your coffee with milk in it, that'd be childish or whatever. I don't remember what it was. But since that didn't affect me because I wasn't drinking milk coffee. That was not a non-issue.
Yep.
But it's funny how that you mentioned that, and I'm like, oh, that's right. I remember something like that, and I skipped entirely
machismo
not being in there. Now I'm like, I'll drink it. However, I drink it. I like to drink it black in the morning just because it's just easier to mess with. I don't have to mess with anything.
Mm-hmm.
It just makes it simpler.
It was a Black Ops type sitcom. I'm Googling it because I'm trying to remember the name of it.
Yeah.
But I remember one of the characters in it's he's basically training a new sheriff. It had kind of the same hints of like Evil Dead because there was this whole evil occult raising the dead type magic going on, and he had a black coffee, and the woman that he was training caught him putting sugar in the coffee. He's like, "You tell anybody and you die." Is that because he was that kind of machismo character?
Right. Yeah. Acid flavor black coffee throws me off way too much. Add enough creamer to cut through the flavor. Yeah, creamer's good, sugar good. And actually, like I had coffee. When did I last have coffee? Friday. I was maybe that was Thursday. I was helping a friend move.
Yeah.
And we went out for some a light breakfast beforehand, and I was like, we're moving. Give me some coffee.
Yeah.
And that one I had. I actually did have that one. Had that black. It's like,
yeah. I don't remember what Troy. I mean, it wasn't. I don't remember it being black when Troy gave it to me. So Troy gave it to me with stuff in it.
I did the frothy milk because that's part of the machine.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I'm and that tasted great. I was on board with that too.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, like I'll take it in any combination. Although usually whenever I do get some kind of milk in it, I add chocolate too, because if you're going to go there, might as well go, no reason to go halfway. If you're already going to add all the calories into it, you might as well go for it all,
Yeah. My favorite coffee drink is still the Broadway Wake Up from Paris on the Platte.
Oh man,
I can still have
that's the thing.
I go to La Dolce Vita, and especially now that it's hot out, I should probably ask them to make me one next time I'm there. Being a chocolate malted, blended with a banana, with mint, like mint syrup, and a couple shots.
That already sounds good.
And a couple shots of espresso.
Yeah, I mean,
super good.
I found it. Stan Against Evil. STAN space Against Evil. That was the name of the show. An aging police sheriff begrudgingly joins an alliance with a new sheriff to battle angry demons haunting their small New Hampshire town.
Okay.
It was a fun show. And it was one of those, it's like clearly they wanted to do more gore and push the limit, but they could only do so much because they were on IFC. And this was in, where's the time frame? Now I can't find when it was released.
Hold on.
Oh, okay. A Stand Against Evil. Where are you? There it is. 2016 and 2018 was when it came out. 24 episodes total before it was canceled. It's tricky getting that large, consistent audience when you have dark humor with gore, I think. Unless you got to hit at the right time and on the right channel. Okay.
Yeah.
But the actor is also in Scrubs. John C. McGinley is the one who plays the sheriff.
Oh yeah, he wasn't he the elder? Well, not the elder doctor
in Scrubs. Yeah, the angry,
one,
yeah.
Help me, help you, Barbie. Help me, help you. Yeah.
Yeah. Always called the main character a different female name every time.
Yep.
To push buttons. Well, while we're waiting, I'll real quickly run over some dates here. July 3rd.
I'm not dating you anymore. Remember, we stopped that.
No, we're beyond that. We're now just in the bed buddy phase.
Yeah, Dr. Cox, that's it.
Yep. July 3rd through 6th is Fan Expo. And
I'm going to be there, apparently. Who knew?
Oh, okay. And then I never heard of this one before. Nandesukan. That's August 29th to 31st.
That's weird.
Should
No
check
one
it
knows
out.
that one.
Sounds like an anime convention with probably a kick-ass video game room and a kick-ass board game room, but
That's probably what it is.
people just have to go to see.
And
And
a
then
really cool museum. I'm just saying. I hear it's got a great museum.
it belongs in a museum.
It belongs in a museum.
Colorado Festival of Horror is September 12th
Hopeful.
through 14th.
Mhm.
Mile High Con, October 31st to November.
That one's weird. Never heard of that one either.
Starts on Halloween. That's going to be fun.
Yeah, definitely going to be showing up to that one late or the next day because of it's Halloween. And
Yeah.
my kiddo does Halloween.
Nice.
Weird.
Then DakuCon, which I think we were invited to like in its early days, and we ended up not making it.
Yeah, I remember us like trying to think about it because it's adult. It's considered an adult con.
Well, I feel like that. I feel like that was only part of the issue. The main issue is we were already booked for something because I would have gone.
No, I remember it being that was the primary problem was did we want to try to broadcast from there? And I seem to remember one of us did go once and tried to broadcast from there or something.
Huh.
I don't remember.
If they invite us, we'll go.
Yeah. I seem to remember having the discussion about what's an adult con. Would we be able to not broadcast anything? Maybe.
Well, we're Geek Tank.
We do it at night, so
yeah,
it's like
we're Geek Tank.
problem.
We're Geek Tank after dark now, baby. So
yeah. So,
and then in Loveland, Darkness Con, Colorado, which is Darkness Con Colorado held its first event at the end of 2024, so it is very new. It was a smash. Was it a monster smash? With 20 blah 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 blah. Everything fans love in horror and pop culture. So that would make sense.
It does seem like that one's definitely an Elvira-esque.
Yeah, a bit far for Loveland, but
speaking of, I don't know what it was, but recently I went looking up Cassandra Peterson for reasons, and I don't remember what it was, but it's funny how
I can think of two.
Right. But I was just like looking her up because she's apparently still active and doing things and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And she's really kind of cool. And I was something got me onto this trend. And I remember watching Elvira in the 80s. But I was like stopped watching the movie. I just liked watching Elvira for not the reasons that everybody else liked watching Elvira. And I thought that was very funny. But what was even weirder is over the years, I had forgotten she was a Valley girl. Like that was her trademark personality. Because Cassandra Peterson's from here. She's actually from the Springs. And so she had gone on and done all of these things. And then somewhere along the line, they brought her in to do Mistress of the Dark, but she had asked them what they wanted her to do, and they didn't really give her the direction that she understood. So she just did it as the thing she had done last in like improv class or something, which was Valley Girl, and they loved it, and she rolled with it. But I seem to remember reading about that, going, like she's known for that, and I hadn't even given it a second thought. But somehow she seems super serious to me not serious, but super much less Valley Girl than I remember when I started watching some footage of her recently. Just interesting.
Did you guys mention Convergence?
Convergence.
That wasn't on the list.
And Galacticon.
Yeah, those two weren't on here. This list, by the way, I pulled off of Westward. And I'd like to thank the writer, Tage Boland, which if that name sounds familiar to you, he was my creative writer teacher back when I was doing Arapahoe Community College.
Oh.
And I thought his name was so cool that I used it for my Black Ops character.
For that, yeah.
I was like, it's such a cool name.
Convergence is a goth industrial convention. And it is a traveling convention. This year it is in Denver at the Brown Palace, August 8th through 11th.
And BCon is towards the end of September, adds Bob.
Mm-hmm.
BCon, of course, being more in the Tacticon and era of so the gaming conventions.
Must be a different convergence as well, because this one's clearly not goth and it's taking place in Minneapolis. Sorry. So it's got to be a different
I'll
convergence.
post a link in the private chat.
Okay.
And Galacticon's moved to November, looks like.
Oh.
This year.
Yeah, they're the ones who stepped in to try to fill the void for Starfest.
Yep, and they've got Todd Stashwick this time around. I thought they had Todd Stashwick last time.
Did we? That name sounds familiar. I feel like I might have interviewed that guy. Tom or Todd?
Oh yeah, they haven't updated this because they've got Denise Crosby. They haven't updated their thing because I've had and Jesse James Keitel. Yeah. So.
Oh yeah, I interviewed her.
They haven't updated it yet. Their guest list is not updated because there's Rick Worthy. And
did you interview Stashwick since he's a Star
Yep.
Trek fella?
Yep.
Okay,
and all I wanted him to do was for me to come and go, "Oh, Mr. Stashwick, I'm so glad to. Can I have it?" And him go, "No," and he did. He was so awesome. It was so great.
Nice.
Yeah, it was the bestest no I have ever gotten in my life. It was beautiful. And I asked him beforehand, before the cameras rolled, I said, "Hey, can I do the thing?" And he's like, "Yeah, we could do the thing."
I wonder
how nice.
I wonder how often he gets asked that.
All the time, because it was one of his. I mean, that's and I'm sure that in a few years he's going to hate it.
Mm-hmm.
But for those of you who do not know what I'm referring to or how, I'm talking about the guy who played Captain Shaw in third season of Picard, and Picard and everybody. They Picard and in one of the greatest scenes, Picard and Riker come on board the ship, and it's Shaw's ship, and they're like, "So we just need you to do this, kind of weird thing, and aren't we cool and everything?" And he goes, "You boys, I love you and everything. Request denied." It's just like flat out, and it's like, oh, what? So he's famous for that, for being a jerk towards Picard and Riker. Although his character comes around, and Tacticon reminds. I know, right? I loved Captain Shaw. At first, I hated Captain Shaw. Then later, I loved Captain Shaw. Then I loved to hate Captain Shaw. And I'm like, see, that's a good character. I'm like, that's good. So yeah, I got to interview him. It was cool.
Yeah, August 8th, 11th is what you sent here.
Oh yeah, this says November 24th through 26th, 2023. So they haven't updated in a couple of years, it looks like.
Mm-hmm. So Convergence, yep. It looks like, I'm assuming they mean Louisville, Kentucky when they said 26th, the one that didn't happen during the pandemic. Because it would make more sense they'd be in Louisville, Kentucky than Louisville, Colorado.
Yeah, that's kind of weird.
Louisville has a big goth scene.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
I don't know about Louisville. That doesn't seem like the kind of place that would do it.
Right. Yeah, I still call it Louisville up here. People always correct me. I'm like,
way out of date.
Yeah.
People do this, guys.
I do it since I've got allegiance to Louisville.
Mm-hmm.
Louisville.
Gotta chew it when you say it. Cool. But yeah, that's it's been a while since we've been actively like emailed conventions and said, "Hey, look at us. Would you like to have us there to do stuff?" And we didn't really recover hugely from our the pandemic days.
No, we didn't.
Yeah, speaking of post-pandemic, last few years going to Colorado Renaissance Festival have been super busy. And we went on Saturday, and it wasn't super busy. I mean, we did get there earlier than usual, but we got there early enough that the line wasn't out to the car line wasn't out to the highway yet. And of course, when you first get there, it's a big old crunch to get in. And everything nearby, near the door, near the gate is going to be full up in lines. But throughout the day, lines were fairly reasonable and wasn't super crowded. We're walking everywhere, so
Maybe
that's cool.
maybe the projected heat scared some people off like me.
It's only 90 degrees. It's not a big deal.
When you're made out of ice, it is.
Yep.
Yeah. The teen improv group under the umbrella that my improv group's under went there. About 8 or 9 of them went there. It was great. As one of they were like staging at the place where we were rehearsing to leave in the parking lot to go to Ren Fair. And one of the girls loves puns, and she knows I like puns, so she's giving me all these puns. Like, how much does it cost for a pirate to get a piercing?
It's a buccaneer.
You got it. Yep, that was one of hers that she gave me. Well, it's not one of hers. She didn't create it. I just mean that's one of the ones she said.
Yeah.
But yeah, she was ready to get to the Ren Fair and bombard people with puns.
Yeah. I went in personal carry, just a boken, a wooden cut and thrust waster, and a wooden main gauche and a wooden knife, and got into 2 sword fights. I solemnly vowed to start no shit and to also take no shit. I didn't have to take any shit from anybody. But there were a few people that Yosemite Sam in my head was like, kill them. There's one guy with a Punisher hat. He and his kid had just gotten wooden swords from Hollow Earth Sword Company. Not sponsored. And
but yeah, if they're watching,
and they're at Renaissance Leather, and I was just looking at him like, I want to humiliate you in front of your boy.
Oh.
I want to make you shit yourself.
It's the old Alex.
Like, no, start no shit. But I only got in a couple fights, which is kind of the same as last time I went. But I don't know, it was a little bit better vibe. I saw more people who were more like willing to engage in sword fighting. I saw more people, especially, but there was just inopportune moments. Like, I'm almost at the point in time in my line. I'm gonna get some steak on a steak. Oh, there's some people walking by. Oh, I don't want to give up my spot. Or, those people, that couple looks like they have wooden swords. I might want to play with them. And they're going to an ATM. I definitely want to be like, I swear this isn't a robbery.
What's the rules for dueling?
I don't know.
Don't get caught.
I mean, people took some pictures and or video of the 2 fights I was in. And one of the fights the first fight I got into was a guy in some like piecemeal armor and a 2-handed sword, and somebody did walk by and go, "Peace bonds, guys," and we were like, we're busy. It's like,
I guess it depends on whether you're like swapping other people while you're at it. I think I'd probably be more like, But if you're
I don't know.
being careful,
I kind of take the old school samurai point of view on that. You don't want to get hit, you back the fuck up. Like, it's not like we're like suddenly throwing down amidst a crowd of people and taking wild swings.
Heads flying everywhere.
No, but nor are we like, oh, it's SCA people. Let's get the rope out and there's a circle, and it's like, no. I'm like, best. I said best to 3. He thought I meant best 2 out of 3. So after I hit him twice, the fight was over. But yeah, I actually realized I could have done something really cool in that sword fight against the Zweihander, is that he did go low, and I stopped it, and he wanted us to power through, increased leverage, etc. I'm like, I should have just jumped over that shit, just like,
yeah.
And it's all good.
I only remember
I won both my fights handily.
I only remember jumping over swords twice,
and
this was in my prime. I could not do it at all today.
Oh, okay.
But I remember I was fighting a friend of my brother's, and was a buffer fighter, not really a sword fighter, and he sent me a telegraph and an email, and a week's notice that he's going to swing. I saw him looking at my knees. So as the swing came, wee, jumped over it, popped him in the head in midair.
Yeah.
Um, man, we had some fun fights with that group before. When you and I would team up against everyone, and then I Jedi mind tricked them.
Oh my god, that was so dumb.
Where they're like, we don't want to fight you guys. You're too good. I'm like, what if it's just the two of us against the rest of you? Okay.
Okay. Yeah, that was some good times. Some good
Yeah.
times. But
And
yeah,
then
some good. Like I said, I had a couple good fights and such, and yeah, yeah. I'm looking.
cool.
Maybe we'll go again this season. Maybe not. But actually, my right shoulder's kind of sore, probably because I haven't been sword fighting people in a while, and also it's like I did sparring on Friday. Lots of punching and such, and I think I actually soaked a couple shots like I shouldn't have. That probably wound up wrenching things a little bit. I started like partway through my sparring matches on Friday. I was sort of doing like more like the Ironwood stuff from the old ninjutsu days. That was working out for me. But no, this is funny, and I wish Dan were on to talk about this. But remember what Dan used to call me when we would play fighting games?
No, but when you say it, I'm sure I'll remember.
Alex the cornering bastard.
I lied.
I
don't remember.
Once in
I
a
don't know if I
while,
ever
and
called
like in at this Kempo karate dojo sparring, I am Alex the cornering bastard. Like there's no corners or octagon per se, but it's like I don't like to back up, and
Yeah.
people can't get to my flanks, and I just sort of push them. I just
Mhm.
pressure them until they've run into a wall. It's just hilarious.
Ring out.
Not to be confused, though, the times that you and I went racing when you were the cornering bastard going around the corners. Wait, what?
Yep, Denver Drift. But But yeah, no. So I had a good time. It was like a 90 degrees, which is hotter than you want it to be, but still 10 degrees cooler than in town, and wasn't super crowded, so that was good.
Did you get to see any new acts that you really liked?
No, we were there. We actually the kiddo had a friend's birthday party to go to, and so I wound up leaving relatively early. And plus, we were there with people, which means that it's kind of hard to break off and do your own thing and watch a thing when people are like, I want to shop for this, I want to shop for that, which is fine. This means that, and I didn't see a lot of new shows on the map, but maybe I just wasn't looking hard enough. So, yeah.
Oh, cool. You don't have to look terribly hard to find stuff from our sponsors, though.
No, because Geek Tank is sponsored by Kieran Games, Geekway Homes, The Massage Wizard, and
Your
There you go. Hey, you might want to go sing karaoke at a gay club Saturday with me.
Saturday? Which gay club?
On that translation.
Yeah. It's the last KJ performance of a friend of mine. Let me look up the message.
Really?
She sent.
Is she gonna
at that location?
Oh, okay.
You're freaking me out there. I love her.
I usually when I think gay bar, I usually go to like Hamburger Mary's on Thursdays.
Go to the gay bar. Gay bar.
Before we started at the Gaylord, we actually me and my VGR crew went to like the Winter Wonderland thing that the hotel was doing. Yeah. And we go outside. I'm like, let's have a con. Let's have an anime con at the Gaylord. Gaylord. Yeah. Speaking of
it is, I found it. It's called Poison by Me, which it used to be called Blush and Blue.
Oh, okay.
So it changed names and I believe ownership. But this will be their last performance as a KJ at that location. And when I first met this KJ, that was Blush and Blue was a standard where she would go, and I kept meaning to go, and the nights never worked out.
Jokes about it.
Yeah, but I've got this Saturday night free. So
y'all aren't playing on Saturday?
No.
Okay. So what's the name of the new place?
Poison by Me.
Never heard of Hamburger Mary's, but I'm gonna just say for a gay bar, that's a good name.
Oh, that's not too far. It's only 1526 East Colfax. What is that cross street? I'll look at the map.
But yeah,
Yeah, I've got the quarterly Crokinole
Oh, it's over.
tournament.
Yeah, I know where that is. Shit. Crap, I might have. Is it a hole in the wall type of place?
I've never been.
Because I mean, wait, where's the little tag thing?
Mm.
if I'm not working, I might be willing to go with you.
I've got a Crokinole tournament that day, and hopefully I'll win again because I won 4 months ago. Wait, 3 months ago, because quarterly be every 3 months. Right. So I get the feeling either way, I would like to go hang out and support her.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, actually, I do have class that day, so I have to
Yeah,
see.
well, I most likely wouldn't be showing up there until later in the evening anyway. I found there.
Right.
It says coming soon to East Colfax, so
Yeah.
that's not helping me any. I'm gonna look it up by its old name.
I was gonna look it up at the address, and
So
then,
not to be confused
yeah. Oh my gosh, I think that is I'm pretty sure that Chris, the guy that I played some D&D with, you know, Dan and everybody. For I think we actually went by there years ago, and I mean years and years ago, because we were just looking for a place like that we could like hang out and like talk D&D stuff. And we roll in, it's like, huh, all right. Sat down, talked about nerd stuff. Yeah, Hamburger Mary's isn't. They moved to another location because they were at one location for a while, and they moved farther east on 17th. But yeah, no, I mean, I'm down. Heck yeah.
Cool. And then Sunday is the Pride March downtown.
Right. Yeah, I'm signed up to do that with our church.
Signed up with my improv group. We'll have to look for each other.
Cool. And then for the karaoke, do you want a carpool?
That might make sense since I've got the Golden Mayor parking pass.
Right. Well, I'm just thinking because I mean it can get shitty to park down there, having lived down there for many years.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, I used to live, like 3 blocks away from this place.
Yeah.
So. But cool.
Yep. But yeah, I thought I'd just throw that out there while I'm thinking about it before I forget.
Yeah, we'll figure out the logistics offline.
Yeah. So mentioning the D&D thing reminded me last show we talked about the possibility of diving a little bit into character creation and collaborating with, I was going to say conspiring, but that wasn't the right word. Collaborating with another player to give your character and their characters some background and depth together, shared backgrounds. And we didn't discuss anything past that, so I'm not sure where we would go with that.
Right.
Other than just going into talking about how do each of us, what's our process for coming up with a new character for a game. And I know I don't know. I'm going to guess for most of you, the way it is with me is it really depends on 1, the system, and 2, the players you're playing with.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, I definitely wanted to kind of look at this topic as a because games, you know, people talk about session 0 now, but it's still nothing really. Like I remember even back in the day, like we would have to like stipulate, like make sure your characters have a reason to be adventuring together, right? And it's like because you know we're all like teenagers, like we're all playing gritty loners.
Yeah.
You know, or whatever.
That was always my big thing whenever I'm like, you have to have a reason to stay in the group.
Right.
Like, and you know, prior to the game, it was like, you can't create a character who's like, I kill anybody who's on my team with me.
I like
Well-
stealing from everybody on my team.
Now, Pikachu had that attitude, but his reason to work with the group was it was basically so he could get out of prison.
Right?
Well, yeah, but I mean that's
That's a reason. But if he wasn't entirely looking out for everybody's safety.
Right. But it's like, so some games we were talking about Fiasco is built in. You have to have relationships with two other people in the group. It's like I'll sit down at the table. And it's like, okay, well, you kind of go clockwise or counterclockwise and figure out how you know each other. And you don't necessarily know everybody at the table, but my character would at least have a relationship with the person to my left and to my right.
Mhm.
And so I thought that was pretty cool. It might be cool just to throw that kind of dynamic into a kind of regular fantasy sci-fi role-playing game. But I mean, like, because I know, like, we have not, in all the games I've played, it's only really happened a few times where we were like, our characters all knew each other or something. Like Troy's Better Than Star Wars game. The characters that he and I wound up playing were like twin brothers. Didn't interact very much because of the way the scenes were stacked, but that was okay. Or like our friend JD ran a game back in 3.0 days, and he wanted to test out the new system. And so it's like, okay, well, he GM'd, and he was like, Angela and I played characters that were married to each other. And that was pretty fun. Or like, say, the Earth Dawn game, where it's like the original core 3 characters played by myself, Bob on Facebook, and our friend Robert Mitchell, all grew up together. We all grew up in the same little village together, and so we did our thing.
Bob's mentioning Vase and that builds in character connections into the character creation process.
Yeah, I'm currently
cool.
looking that up to see if I can find any good images to share of that. It's
Yeah, I've never heard of it. That's cool.
Yeah, I've actually, there's been a couple of games that I played, and I'm trying to think of which ones were which. I mean, obviously, well, not obviously, I do know that Fiasco does that. Like, has a function where you have to build in a connection to all the other characters, and that's a function of just the chaos of that game.
Yeah, here's Fiasco right there.
Yeah, Fiasco is very chaotic. I love it.
The new version, by the way, which I have, uses cards, so it makes setup time faster, because before you used to have to roll a ton of dice, consult the chart, and then use the chart. Now you just deal out the cards. There's don't have to worry about the dice rolling.
Nice.
And so it does play faster that way. Twice now at IndieK, I've had one of my staff run. There's some fan-made adventures, and there's one set in an anime convention. So he's ran that twice at IndieK, which was very appropriate, and both times went really well.
Nice.
Awesome.
Yeah, I've only done the Fiasco thing, I think, once, and then like the next time we were going to play, and I really enjoyed it. We were playing it was kind of like a neo-noir type of thing is what we did. And then the next time the game rolled around, I was like, I went to my spouse. I'm like, you really should play this game. I think you'd really dig it. I was like, you go. I'll watch the baby. Yeah. No, it's fun. Basin.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I guess next time I play a game, or maybe next time, because I've enjoyed it every time, is if I'm going to be part of a group and be like, hey, let's try to make some kind of our characters have some kind of relationship. It doesn't have to be like romantic. It could be brother sister. Could be childhood friends. Could be whatever.
Yeah, and I think what prompted this was, of course, thinking about some of the interesting, changes that have been made or going on through just role playing in general. When we talk about now, characters seem to be connected more often than not in a system, and I think that's kind of cool. We've got, like, and we were talking about Critical Role, which has 2 of the characters are brother and sister, and that has been played out very, very well and very interestingly in the game.
And there's two other characters that have a really long backstory that you don't get glimpses in until, like, I think it was season 3 maybe or 2, where it turns out the one character was basically saved by the grandfather or the father of one of the characters,
grandfather of the other character. Yeah.
And so from a young age, this character is pretty much just adopted into the family, and they grew up together.
Yeah.
So
cool. Yeah, just and I think that's cool, and it's just it does add an interesting depth to the game, but also it makes it very different than the game that I grew up in. You know what I mean? Which it's evolving in a positive way, in my opinion. You know what I mean? Like, that's kind of nifty. I would never have thought of that as in junior high, as I sat there playing, you know, Robotech or Star Frontiers or any of those. As I was playing those in junior high, I would never have even considered, you know, well, you and this other player are brother and sister, and, you know, like, okay, it just never really would have occurred to me. And that's such a fascinating evolution.
Yeah, I think I was really caught my attention because last couple of weeks I've been watching Black Doves on Netflix, and season 1, I just finished season 1 a day or two ago, and one thing about it was that there are the two main characters are friends. I mean, they're it's definitely some there's definitely some like backstory there that you explore. Some of it you don't, but it's like the two characters are friends, and they're kind of in this spy assassin type of milieu, and it was really interesting. Neil says on Facebook, in our old Eberron game, we learned that Mortanius was Shaden's father. That was interesting. Yes.
Yeah, but now I would feel like I had not gotten the full effect if that character hadn't said, "I am your father." I'm just saying, it would have just totally. I would have been like, "Now wait a minute, I feel left out. I feel like I want my money back."
Yep, that was the aforementioned Chris Tucker, who I went into that gay bar.
Yep,
that's a great line. I went into a gay bar with Chris Tucker. Yep. I know who you're talking about, but somebody else would go, "What?"
It just sounds like, you know. Well, there's the thing.
Yep.
Sorry, go ahead, Chris Tucker, gay bar.
Yeah. No, but he was the one who was GMing that game.
Oh, okay. There's a book series by J.R. Lansdale, Happen Leonard series. So names of some of them are like Savage Season, Macho Mojo, The Two Bear Mambo. They actually did a pretty good television adaptation of a few of them. But in that, it's brothers, and they're interracial. But whenever they introduce themselves, they always introduce themselves as brothers because that's how they see each other. Although one of them was adopted. And their backstory is actually kind of tragic, how that came to be. And they grew up through adversity. And I feel like it's set like in the 80s. So when they were growing up as kids, there was a lot of crap going on. Not like there's not a lot of crap going on today, but even more so back then. But they have a really interesting dynamic. The actor who plays the detective in The Expanse is one of the brothers. The hat guy.
Which actor?
The actor that plays the detective with the hat.
Oh, yeah.
Investigating the... I have to look it up because I can't remember his name now. I think he was also in the first season of Altered Carbon. James Purfoy.
Oh, wait, James Purfoy? What?
That's the actor. The book is by Joe Lansdale. I think I got that name right.
I'm going to say real quick though, Brent. I said I am your father. I'm just saying. I quoted it properly.
Joe R. Lansdale, Lansdale, is the writer. The actor I was trying to think of from the TV series.
Oh yeah, so yeah, no, he's God, of course. Sorry, the name just hooked my brain. He's Mark Antony in Rome.
Oh, gets around.
Rome,
He gets
Rome is
around.
Rome is super good. Super good.
Thomas Jane.
Oh,
I haven't seen The Expanse, so I don't know.
I'm getting the two actors confused. You're 100% right. That is Thomas Jane. Why was they interchangeable?
Not
Member.
Miller.
All you white bitches look the same to me. I'm sorry. Some
We
white
talking
dude
about?
with.
I mean, I thought you were talking about Miller.
No.
No.
I got James Purfoy mixed up with Thomas Jane.
Okay, yeah, you guys are like talking about shows I don't know, so I'm like, I have no clue.
Yeah, yeah. We just started watching Expanse, so again,
Okay.
for me, because I keep losing my accent in my Expanse game because I'm a belter, so I have to speak in Beltaloda.
Gotcha.
Smart.
Brent acknowledges
I
Rome
think
was
the
a great
first time I
show.
saw The
Is
Expanse,
correct.
I made that mistake. What the heck is going on here?
I don't know. He's having problems.
I am.
Look out, everybody! He's pushing buttons.
I'm problematic.
Oh, I have been watching the latest Doctor in Doctor Who for the first real time. I liked him a lot when I saw him, but I only saw the first episode. And I've got to say, though, yeah,
I thought Thomas Jane's character reminded me of him, and that's what threw me off, I think.
right.
Okay, I'm sorry. What threw you off?
Well, nothing threw me off. I just well, it's just one of those, like, I was.
Oh, Psych. Yep, Psych is fun.
Psych is
Psych
fun.
is good.
Yeah. I watched all of Psych because I knew there was a Twin Peaks homage episode in like season 5, Dual Spires, I think it was called, and
Right.
And by the time I got it, I was like, I should watch more of this, So I was sort of like, oh, okay. And I really liked the show. I thought it was really cute.
Mm-hmm.
I especially
Right.
liked their homages to other works like Twin Peaks or like the vampire one where they go to the goth bar and it's like you're cool, but I don't know about this guy's like, man, I told you only us and Quentin Tarantino remembers who Blackula is. Yeah, and then Carrie Ellis was a recurring villain on that show.
Mm-hmm.
And then at the ending is that the adventure continues. And I gotta say, what's his name? Oliphant? Tim Oliphant? Tom Oliphant?
Yeah, the guy who's playing the foil detective guy.
Yeah, the foil
police
guy.
officer.
Yeah, it's not
Yeah.
Tim Oliphant. It's God, God, what's the
I
actor's name?
think you got his name right.
I don't think I got it right.
Oh,
He was also in that one show. Because Tim Oliphant, I'm looking at his picture now. He's the guy. He's the sheriff from Deadwood who's always grinding his goddamn teeth. But what was the name? It's he was on.
I'm looking it up for you right now.
Yeah,
Timothy Amundsen.
Amundsen. That guy. I mean, I don't know how he looks now, as he's got the cancer. But that guy in his heyday, he's a good-looking guy. Like in Psych, you don't see it. He's always like crew cut and clean shaven. But there's like in other roles, he's got his hair long. He's got a beard. I'm like, I don't normally go for bearded guys, but yeah, buddy. Yeah.
Yeah, there's actually now Psych material I haven't seen because they did a few movies after the series got canceled.
Oh, I haven't seen those.
Yeah, it's Psych the movie, of course. Psych 2, Lassie Come Home. The one character's name is Lassie, I think.
Uh-huh. Right, yeah.
And then Psych 3, This Is Gus.
Aw.
So yeah, it's cool that they were able to make movies even though the series got canceled.
Yeah. And that series was not short-lived. It was at least 7 seasons, maybe more.
Yeah, they even had a musical. I think you hit it when your show makes a musical, I guess.
Right? What did I just
he played King Richard in Gallivant. I think that was
Gallivant, that's right. Yes.
Yeah.
That show was so silly, but the kiddo and I watched both seasons of that. Enjoyed it. 7 seasons. Thanks, Brent, on YouTube. Bob says Bob on Facebook, Face Bob says one of my favorite episodes was when a guy went to Comic-Con and hid it from his hot wife, only to find out in the end that she's a super nerd too. Aw.
And they lived happily ever after.
Or did they?
Oh no.
Did one of them find out they were Star Trek? The other one was Star Wars.
Oh no!
Mm.
One of them prefers the third Doctor. One prefers the seventh.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So
One
I was
like-
gonna say I
one
have
like
decided that
First edition, the other likes 3.5.
right that I've decided that Ngatwa is probably coming up as easily my second favorite Doctor, if not my first favorite Doctor. I mean, the moment in the episode that he said, "It's a button," I've got to push the button, and he pushes the button. I'm like, okay, see, this is me.
Right. Guy now feels seen by Doctor Who.
I know. I'm like,
Like,
finally, it's a doctor that's my kind of doctor. It's a button. It has to be pushed.
The
And he just sits there and pushes buttons, and I'm like, "Yep, see, I love this guy." But yeah, he said a line that I just absolutely adored, which was the creature scares him, so he starts running, and then he goes, "Wait a minute, why am I running?" And the companion says, "Well, I mean, it was a terrifying bug," and he goes, "I've seen thousands of ugly bugs. I'm an ugly bug. Why am I?" And I was just like, "Oh, that's a great line." So,
yeah, it is funny how people get seen or feel seen by certain things. The duo that make overly sarcastic productions, the guy Blue, they're talking about these different types of portrayals of Batman. Is Christopher Nolan's Batman can't seem to ever want to actually be Batman. He's constantly trying to quit. He's like, I finally feel seen.
right.
And yeah, the
Sean
episode
broke an
Sean
original
breaks an original
screen
screen
used
used
helmet.
from 80s Battlestar Galactica. I do not remember this episode at all. That's
Oh,
okay.
that sounds horrible. I loved those. I wanted one of those helmets so bad. When I was a kid, I would have. Well, I wanted a Viper. I would have flown all over the place in a Viper.
So was that an actual broke the prop, or was that part of the episode? Is it like the Kurt Russell breaking the guitar on the set of Hateful Eight?
Right?
You heard that story, guy?
Mm-mm.
Broke a priceless guitar. It was on loan from a museum for a scene where one of the characters was playing the guitar, and Kurt Russell's character's scripted to grab the guitar and smash it, but they were supposed to switch it out for a dummy guitar. And he jumped the gun, and I think I don't remember what he said, but I think it was some of those things where he thought they had already switched it. And since he was in the scene, he just grabbed it and smashed it. And if you watch the scene, they used it exactly as it is. You can see the actress panic, look not at the camera, but off to the director, and then back at the actor, because she's like, wait, what's happening? Yeah, Hateful Eight.
The Hateful Eight.
Is part of the episode. Okay, so they didn't actually break the prop. Yeah, Hateful Eight,
Yeah.
they broke the guitar, which I was in the middle of looking up when I started telling the story. Kurt Russell accidentally destroys an antique 1870s Martin acoustic guitar. The guitar was on loan from the Martin Guitar Museum and was not meant to be smashed, but rather replaced with a prop double for the scene. Due to a miscommunication, Russell thought he was using a prop and smashed the genuine antique. Yeah.
That's not on the. I mean, anybody who's been on set, that's the prop master's fault. Because that's what the prop master is supposed to do: is stop a scene and clearly swap them out. And it's the same thing as when an actor accidentally shoots themselves because they're not supposed to have had blanks in the gun, and or whatever. Because blanks will actually do damage at point blank range.
That's the weapons. There's another name for weapons master.
There's a weapons master, but it's the same thing. I mean, the prop master still is in charge of that, so that had to have been brutal for that prop master. I mean, everybody's freaking out. I'll bet you that the actors are not, in fact, looking at the director. I'll bet you that they were all looking at the prop master, and I'll bet you that that's what happens in that scene because they all know who's in charge of that.
Yeah. Oh, okay. But yeah, the museum have vowed never ever to loan guitars to any movies again.
Yep.
Understandably so. Luckily, I've never smashed anything super expensive, but I did almost trip and fall and mess up the set at Ticonderoga track.
Oh yeah.
Because where the transporter is, the step was a little further than I thought. So when I
Mhm.
stepped down, I like stumbled and started to fall forward, and my brain was like, "Can you stop before you get to the the console? Because
console.
if you can't, just fall on your ass. Don't
Yep.
stumble into something and break
Yeah,
it."
because that console's not strong enough to handle it. Yeah.
No.
That
Yeah,
would've been
I
brutal.
almost Chris Farley'd all through the set. It's a Klingon who lives in a
It's still in
van.
my like battle plan to get to Ticonderoga. I just don't know if I'll be able to at this point.
Yeah, well, we got
Before.
a place to stay if we go there. The in-laws will put us up.
Yeah.
So just
I
gotta
may
plan
have
it.
to just do a Guy and Troy go to
Mhm.
White
Castle and
Ticonderoga.
Ticonderoga. That just sounds wrong.
Yeah, I know. Trek
Speaking of wrong,
castles.
the wrong thing I said for not the wrong thing I said for today was white potato privilege. Because I was making
White
fingerling
potatoes.
potatoes and they were different colors, and the darker ones were getting cooked faster. And I'm like, why aren't you cooking the correct way? You're using your white potato privilege to just take your time. So you don't get to get eaten first. You get to hang out and watch the other ones get to be dinner first.
As a warning.
Show you.
Yeah. No, you're gonna put soy sauce on it. Gotcha. Show you.
Ah.
That was a stretch. I had to really work on that one.
I've never had soy sauce on potatoes, but it's just starch like rice. It probably tastes fine.
Yeah, it probably tastes just fine.
Yeah.
I think everybody would stare at you like they would stare at, like any Japanese person would stare at you if you put soy sauce on your rice.
Oh yeah, no stroganoff potatoes at this year's Ren Fair. I think this is like the third year in a row they haven't had them, so they're probably
weird.
never coming back.
I never had them. So was it
But there will always be a turkey leg. I'm just saying.
Yeah,
You get those at
I will never eat the turkey leg.
It's so funny, because I had a moment where my brain switched weirdly, and I decided, or whatever, couldn't eat bones anymore, and it happened in my adult years, and so I actually, oddly enough, used to eat turkey legs at the Ren Fair because I've been going to Ren Fair long enough that it predates.
Mhm.
Because that happened when I was like 20 or something. And so like it predates the switch over in my head. So I actually remember eating turkey legs and not being grossed out by it. And now I'm completely grossed out by it because brains are weird.
Was the potato stroganoff in a baked potato?
Yeah, it was like a baked potato, and then it would be like a beef stroganoff on the potato, and then you could also get combo potatoes. So you get it like butter and beef stroganoff and cheese sauce, and maybe some stuff, and and they already have sour cream in it. Yeah, amazingly good.
Yeah,
No, I went to Colorado Ren Fair, down in Larkspur.
Yeah, which is far enough away from Denver to not be called in Denver.
Is there a Denver Ren Fair? I don't think there is.
No, there are a couple other kind of like pop-up Renaissance festivals in the state. But those are usually just like a weekend, maybe two.
I mean, there's like a Shakespeare in the Park, I think.
Well, Shakespeare Festival was last week. Was last weekend, I think, in Boulder.
Oh, that's right, Boulder.
And there's usually a couple others as well, here and there. Yeah, I was up in Boulder getting manhandled by my traditional Chinese medicine guy, and I saw the signs up. It's like, no honking between this hour and that hour. Shakespeare Festival. I'm like, oh yeah, cool.
Years and years ago, I remember for the Shakespeare Festival, my friend came in from out of state because she was part of the improvised Shakespeare company. That was the same weekend that I got to be Kevin Smith's body double for that movie up in Boulder.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
North Glen Pirate Fest is in September. Yeah, that's usually actually pretty fun because it goes late into the night with like pirate bands, and such. So
yeah,
I've had some good times there.
I feel like we're coming up on about time to tuck Bob in.
Did bring him a warm glass of milk and some cookies.
Give Bob a warm glass of milk. Tuck him in.
Yep.
Coming up
nice.
on
Read
coming
Good
up on
Night
that time.
Read Good Night Moon.
Yep.
All right, everybody.
Ha ha!
We were
And
because
Bob
of the
posts
because of
that
the
right at that time.
because of the lag. It's going to hit about
Yep,
the
the
same
lag
time
is
for Bob.
beautiful.
Mhm.
Bob saying it's time for me to go. Right about the right time.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
All right.
It is about time for us to also pack it in. So,
I'm queued up. I'm ready to go.
all right. Well, thank you for joining us, Brent and Bob. We'll see you all, and Neil, because Neil was in there too.
And
Thanks for
anyone else that
joining us, all
remained
three
quiet.
of you guys. And that's all the time we got for today. We'll see you all next week. Until then, I've been Guy.
I've been Troy.
And I've been Alex.
And this is Geek Tank.